good tea. Hello everyone! So me and Baymax are coming at you with a new video, and I've never said coming at you with a new video. Today I want to talk about characters that are in some of my favourite books that I wish had their own book, their own series, their own spin-off, their own story, so that we can know more about them and know that they're doing alright. So first off, we have Dante from Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. This is kind of spoilery, but not really. It's probably not going to hinder you too much if you haven't read the book, but there is a bit during Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe where Dante moves away for a little bit for something that his family are doing and for some of their work. In that time, Aristotle is figuring lots of things out, and so is Dante. However, the book is from Aristotle's point of view, and we only get snippets of Dante's life through the letters that he writes back to Aristotle. I would love to have a novel dedicated to that time when Dante was away, and the things that he was figuring out and his feelings and the way that he thought about situations and his whole perspective of life and how he grew up. Then at number 2, we have the Cullens, excluding Bella and Edward. Alice, Jasper, Carlisle, Esme, Rosalie and Emmett, and I cannot just choose one of them, have such interesting backstories that we never really get to see. One of the most interesting parts in Twilight is when we're learning about Carlisle's history, and then when we get to learn about Rosalie's history and Jasper's history, and Alice's we don't even really know about because she can't remember much of it, and it would be so cool to be able to go back into all these different time periods of history and learn about these other characters, because I feel as though, even though at the time when I first read it I loved Twilight, their stories seemed so much more interesting and in-depth than Bella and Edward's. We know all about Edward, we know all about Bella. It's a pretty normal love story really, and I'd love to know so much more about these other characters who have what seems like very interesting lives and backstories and a wide range of different stories, but we never really get to know about them, and I would love to be able to do that. Then I would also love it if the Marauders could have their own story. I'd love to know more about Lily and James. I mean, post-Hogwarts, pre-war Voldemort sitch. I would love to see more of Lily and James. I'd love to see more of Sirius and Lupin and how they all interacted and their friendships, and even Peter Pettigrew before he was an absolute asshole. I'd love to just know how these things came about and how they interacted with each other, what it was like when Harry was a baby, because there's little things we know, like that Sirius gave Harry a broom for his first birthday, but I just love to see more of that and know more about that and see more of these people's lives, because we only really get to hear about them and not see them. Also, Ginny. I would love it if Ginny had her own novel, whether it was set after Hogwarts when she's with Harry and training for the Harpies and everything, or if it's set during her time at Hogwarts. Ginny is one of my favourite female characters, and movie Ginny, Bonnie Wright, it wasn't Bonnie Wright, I think it was just the way that she was written and the way that she was made for the films does not give the way that book Ginny was written and just book Ginny just any kind of justice. Book Ginny is so strong and brave and snarky and funny, and she's just so great, and she's such a great character, and I love her so much, and I'd love to see more of her. I'd love to see more things in her perspective and more of her opinions on things, and I would just love to see more of that and more of her and her life and the things that she was thinking and things that she was going through. I'd love to see her post-Hogwarts training to be a Quidditch player and with her children, and I would just love that so much. Then we have Margot from Paper Towns by John Green. I really liked her character, but I feel like she was always more of an idea rather than an actual person. We get to see Q and his opinion of her and what he thinks, but the whole story mainly revolves around him and him trying to find her, and we still don't really know why she did things, and she's not even really in it that much. So I would really love if we had a novel which was just about her and why she left and how she feels and the why she does the things that she does, how she felt when she saw Q again, did she want to go back, why did she leave? I would just love to know all of these things. I'd love to have more of her perspective on things. It would probably make me understand her a lot more, because I found her really confusing and kind of a little bit annoying at times, because she was just doing these things and I was like, what are you doing? The ending of Paper Towns was slightly disappointing, so I feel like if I could know more about her and learn more about her and realise why she's doing these things, I would probably enjoy it a lot more and have such a bigger insight into her character. Speaking of John Green, Isaac is another character that I would love to see have his own novel. He's from The Fault in Our Stars, and obviously he is Hazel and Gus's friend, and he is in it a lot. We get to know what happens to him and the illness that he has and stuff, and we do experience some of his life, but he goes through a lot as well. But obviously The Fault in Our Stars is focused more on Hazel and Gus because it's their story, which is obviously what we would expect, but it would be really nice to have one with Isaac and the things that he went through and how he felt about what was happening with Hazel and Gus and all of his experiences, because I really liked him as a character. He made me laugh and he was really, really nice, and I would just love to see more of him. I would also really, really, really love it if Alec Lightwood from the Mortal Instruments would have his own story. I know that he is a pretty central character to the Mortal Instruments, and I know that we do get chapters that are set in his perspective and we do understand him a lot more as the books go on, but we got the Bane Chronicles and we got experiences with Magnus's life, and I know that he's immortal, so there was more experiences. And we also get welcome to the Shadowhunter Academy with Simon. I would really, really like it if we could have more snippets of Alec Alec changing throughout the books and scenes that we don't see, and how his opinion of things are changing and how he's growing into himself, how he's changing and how he's feeling about Magnus and his family. And I would also really like it if we could have more between the end of City of Heavenly Fire and just the way he's growing into things. In Welcome to the Shadowhunter Academy we find out a couple of things about him, the things that he's been setting up and doing around the city, and I would really, really, really like it if we could see how that came about and how he's decided on doing these things and why he thinks these things are right. I really, really like Alec, and I think that he's one of the best examples of fantastic character development and how someone can change and how someone can grow, and I would so love to see more of that. And finally we have Howl from Howl's Moving Castle. I read the book recently and I really, really, really love the film. However, Howl is just kind of there and Sophie shows up and it's sort of Sophie trying to reverse the spell and learn about all these people, but we don't know how Howl met Calcifer or how he met, this isn't how his life is the way he is. And I would really, really love it if there was, you know, we did have this kind of story and backstory of how he came about. We learn a couple of things but we don't really see much, and I would really, really like it if we could learn more about him because I found him a really interesting character and I would love to see more of him. So yes, let me know any characters that you think deserve their own novel or you would want them to have their own novel, and people that you'd like to see more of in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you liked this video and I hope that you're doing really, really, really well, and I will see you next time. Bye!